Children, now we have read that sodium reacts with water. Sodium reacts very vigorously with water. It reacts and it jumps on the water surface and it even starts burning. You read about it in the previous slide. Apart from sodium, some other metals also react in that way. Sodium and potassium are the two metals which react vigorously. Sodium is the most reactive. Apart from this, iron also reacts with water slowly. We read that it forms rust. Generally, non-metals do not react. Non-metals do not react with water, though they may be very reactive in air. Now, non-metals, simple example is like carbon and sulfur. So, sulfur reacts with oxygen and it forms sulfur dioxide. So, they do not react with everything, but they react easily with water. Such non-metals are stored in water. For example, phosphorus is very reactive non-metal. Now, phosphorus is a substance which is reactive and it is stored in water because it is highly reactive. To prevent the contact of phosphorus with atmospheric oxygen, it is stored in water. Like sodium cannot be kept in open air, it cannot be kept in water, so sodium is stored in kerosene oil because kerosene does not react with sodium. Similarly, phosphorus is a non-metal which cannot be stored in open, it cannot be stored in container, so it is stored underwater so that it does not react with air. This was reactivity of metals and non-metals. Now, reaction with acids. How do metals and non-metals behave with acids? This is activity based explanation where you will read that metals and non-metals react in a different way. There is an activity described, activity 4.6, where we will take different samples of metals and non-metals and study them, how do they behave in a different way. Now in the activity you have to take test tubes and call them A, B, C, D, E and F, and with the help of a dropper in all test tubes A, B, C, D, E we have taken different substances. There are some metals and there are some non-metals in the test tube. With the help of a dropper you will add a small amount of dilute hydrochloric acid in all the test tubes one by one. Now when you add hydrochloric acid to the test tubes one by one, you will observe that the reaction will take place, but the reaction will be different in all the test tubes. In some test tubes maybe you will see no reaction. In some test tubes you will see bubbles will be formed. In a test tube you might see a sound being produced. If no reaction occurs in cold solution, warm the test tube. That means the test tubes, all of them, some of them will show quick reaction, some of them will show no reaction, so you will have to heat them. And repeat the same activity using dilute sulfuric acid. First we have added hydrochloric acid, then we will add sulfuric acid. So all of you know that hydrochloric acid, HCl, and hydrosulfuric acid, H2SO4. Now both are mineral acids and both the acids will react in a different way. Is there a difference in the way metals and non-metals react with acids? We will see that metals and non-metals behave in a different way. What could the pop sound in some cases be due to the warmth of burning of the matchstick? You must have found that non-metals generally do not react. This is important, that non-metals do not react with acids, whereas metals react with acid. So metals react with acid, they form hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas, which we read burns, can be tested by burning it. It will burn with a pop sound. So now all the experimental readings you have to write down in a table which is given next. Let's see What does the table tell you?